In the bloody rebellion in Syria, neither side is giving in. President Bashar al-Assad seems determined to snuff out the uprising against his dictatorship. But despite that crackdown, tens of thousands of protesters filled the streets all over Syria today. David Martin has the latest.
Friday is the day for demonstrations, and by our count, crowds came out in 13 different locations across Syria. These pictures come from the demonstrators and cannot be independently verified. By the count of human rights groups, at least 14 protesters were killed when the army struck back. An estimated 2,000 Syrians have been killed over the past 5 months. But far from being intimidated, the protesters are escalating their demands, no longer calling just for reform, but for the ouster of President Bashar al-Assad and, in this demonstration, his execution. Once again, Assad demonstrated he is willing to do whatever it takes to hold on to his power and his head, sending the Syrian army to break up the protests, sometimes with tear gas, sometimes with bullets. A few hundred soldiers and a handful of Syrian army officers have deserted rather than take part in the crackdown, but U.S. intelligence says most of the army continues to believe the use of force against their own people is justified. Officials also say the protests are not yet big enough or organized enough to pose a threat to the regime.
But they are not going away, and Assad is, in the words of one senior U.S. official, in lots of trouble.
Thank you, David.